Hello, I'm Jen from Cakey Lulu's, and in this video I'm going to be sharing how to make this stone carved hourglass effect cake using Saracino products and a hidden Prop Options central bar support. First I need to prepare my dummy cake for the central bar separator. So using the PropSecure pinholes and a kebab skewer, I'm going to mark on my dummy cake exactly where those holes are. And this will work as a guide for your PropSecure pins to go into the cake, keeping the plate central. And then I'm going to do the same on the dummy half sphere, making a mark using the bottom plate of my central bar separator. Next I'm going to secure the bottom plate to my cake using some ganache, but you can use royal icing if you prefer. And then, because I'm using a dummy cake rather than real cake, instead of the PropSecure pins, I'm going to use kebab skewers through the PropSecure pin holes to connect my dummy cake with the half sphere, and this will just help make sure that it's extra secure. Of course, if you're using a real cake, you can do this instead of using the PropSecure pins as well. Just make sure you've crumb coated your cake and used enough dowels before attaching the plate of your separator. So now I'm going to add some more ganache onto the bottom plate of the central bar separator, and then using the holes I made in the half sphere earlier, I'm going to guide them onto the kebab skewers and push that half sphere down into place. Now it's time to cover the whole cake in ganache or buttercream if you prefer. And this will blend the half sphere into your cake and disguise the bottom plate of the separator too. So once that's fully covered, I'm going to use my turntable and a tool scraper. I've got my Pro Froster here. And as I turn the turntable, I'm going to smooth the sides of the cake. Then I'm going to switch over to a flexible scraper, and holding it in the same curve as the half sphere, I'm going to smooth out the ganache on the top of the cake. Once that's done, pop it in the fridge or to the side until that ganache has set. And then fill in any gaps or patches with some more ganache, and go in again with your tool scraper and your flexible scraper to smooth over those edges. It doesn't need to be completely smooth or perfect because we're going to be adding some texture to our fondant later anyway. Make sure that the central hole in your dummy sphere has not been covered, and then using a mini metal scraper, I'm using one from Lissy Lou, just scrape away any excess ganache at the bottom of the cake. Now it's time to prepare the fondant, so I've taken some white, some black and some brown Saracino pasta top and mixed them together into various different shades of whites and greys and beiges, and then I've left them out overnight just to dry out a bit because we want a cracked textured effect on this stone cake. So here I'm breaking the fondant into small pieces and arranging them so that I have a nice blend of the colours. And then squishing them together, I'm going to start rolling it out with my rolling pin. So I'm pushing all of the pieces of fondant together so that they're attached, and then I'm going to fold it and roll it out over and over until I'm happy with the blend of colours. Now you don't want to roll it out too much, otherwise you'll end up just with one solid colour. Just keep going, checking each side until you're happy that you've got a subtle marbled effect. You'll see that the colours are now starting to come together. I've used some corn flour to help stop it from sticking. Once you're happy with the blend of colours, roll your paste into a rough rectangle, and then taking some of the leftover dried pieces of fondant in the various tones, use a fine grater and just grate some pieces over your whole rectangle. This is going to add some lovely texture when we roll it out. As you roll it out, you can really start to see that stone effect coming through. So using some more corn flour to stop my fondant from sticking, I'm going to now roll my fondant out into a long rectangle, which will be as tall as the cake and wide enough to go around the whole circumference of the cake. Once you've got that to the right size, you can bring in your cake, and then you need to prepare it for attaching the fondant. I'm using vegetable shortening, but you can use whatever you normally would to attach fondant to a cake. And then we're going to trim the bottom edge of the fondant with a cutting wheel. Bring our cake back in, and then gently lift up the fondant and wrap it around the cake. Lift up the edges and stretch them round, making sure that the bottom edge is lined up with the bottom edge of the cake. Loosely overlap the fondant at the back of the cake, and then we're going to lift and stretch the fondant at the top of the cake just to cover the last bits. But make sure to leave a gap at the top so that the central bar can fit through the pre-drilled hole in the dummy half sphere. When you're covering the bottom tier, trim off any excess fondant at the bottom of the cake, but leave any excess there when you're covering the top tier because we can deal with that later. Next, I'm just taking a sharp knife and trimming off any excess fondant at the top of the cake. Because of the cocoa butter in Saracino products, it means that it's really easy to blend and hide any imperfections. So once all those extra bits are trimmed off, I'm going to just push it all together with my fingers, and then taking a flexible smoother, I'm going to smooth out those cracks and joins. Then you can move on to the back seam of the cake. I'm just tearing off the excess fondant, thinning and stretching it so that I can blend it easily. Any tears or gaps created can be filled in with a little bit more of the fondant and blended through. Again, I'm going to take my flexible smoother, and using that along with the heat of my hand, I'm going to blend those seams together. And then once you're happy with that, take some foil, scrunch it up, and then we're going to use that pressed into the side of the cake to add some detail and texture. Once that's complete, repeat the whole process so that you've got two of the same cake. One will be the bottom tier and one will be the top. Put those to one side, and then we're going to take some of the leftover fondant and use this to create a marbled piece for the top of the top tier. I'm getting some more of the darker grey and adding it in places, and we're going to do the exact same process of squishing it together, folding and rolling it out. And again, I'm going to grate some more of the dried fondant to add some more texture, and then roll it into a circle just slightly bigger than the width of the cake. Now it's time to assemble the cake. So I'm taking the central bar, I've got a 6-inch tall central bar here, and I'm just feeding it into the hole in the centre of the top tier, twisting it to screw it in place, and then bringing in my bottom tier, I'm going to lift up the top tier and thread the other end of the central bar into the bottom tier. Hold the bottom tier as you twist the top tier to screw the central bar into place. Once that's securely tightened, I'm going to lift up the excess fondant and then attach my top piece using some vegetable shortening. Then taking 2 cake smoothers, I'm going to pinch the edges together all the way around the cake, and then I'm going to take my sharp knife and trim away the excess. Then again, using your smoother and your fingers, pinch and blend the seams together until they're disguised, and use extra pieces of fondant to fill any gaps. Remember, it doesn't need to be perfectly smooth, texture and detail are what we're going for here. So then next, I'm bringing in some more foil, pushing it down onto the top piece of fondant just to add some texture to match the rest of the cake. Then I'm using my flexible smoother once again just to refine the edge for the centre of the hourglass. And finally, using my sharp knife, I'm just cutting in and adding some more texture and detail around the cake and finishing it off with a little bit more foil until I'm happy that I've got enough detail and texture on the cake. I hope you've enjoyed this tutorial. Check out my other videos on the Prop Options YouTube channel, and don't forget to tag @PropOptions in all your central bar creations. We'd love to see them. See you next time. Bye!